Hi, and welcome to Work Harder Mama with Michelle. I'm Michelle Hollingsworth. This is a podcast for moms who want to work with heart through all the seasons of motherhood instead of just working harder. All right. Welcome to the Work Harder Mama podcast on this cold January in 2026. I would love to introduce you to my guest today, Claire O'Malley, and she is a mom from Houston, Texas.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. She has a podcast coming out, and we're going to talk about that later. But before we get into that, we just want to welcome her and thank her for being here. She's a busy mom to one who is 12. So
Yes.
she's about to enter the teenage years. So everybody pray for Claire. But she's going to share some of her story and her wisdom with us today. And we just thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm
Awesome.
excited and also nervous, and this is my first time, so it's really fun.
Okay. Well, don't be nervous at all. It's just a Zoom. We're good.
Okay.
Claire, I would like to start by asking you some questions and just hearing more about your life story. We'll start where, most of us started in our childhood. And I just want to ask, what do you think is your favorite childhood memory?
Yeah. So I think I grew up, my parents got divorced when I was 8, and I'm 18 months older than my sister. My mom then got remarried, and I have a half brother and half sister. But I think my favorite memories are probably the ones that are just wild and
Yeah.
but wild in the normal moments. So me and my sister would like clean. One day we got this wild idea that we wanted to wash the kitchen floor, and it was recessed in our older home. And I think my dad was watching golf and we flooded the kitchen.
So you
One,
washed it with the sink water or just,
I think we got buckets, and the next thing I
okay.
know, we were slip and sliding in a very tiny, like 8 by 8 kitchen in our
Yeah.
underwear.
That sounds like a really good fun memory though. So
Yeah.
how'd your dad react to that?
But there were many stories like this, and both my mom and dad, I think, had to kind of put up their hands in the chaos and laugh and then just do the best they could to clean it up. Of course, we got our fair share of getting yelled at, but I think sometimes they laughed with us of how intense those situations got in both a good and bad way. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. I think that's awesome how they approached the chaos because we all lived through that chaos and they embraced it and just like rolled with it. I wish I could do that more.
Same. I think that they didn't have, like emails going off and things like that. So it felt like, and I could just be romanticizing my childhood. It felt like they were a little bit more present in those moments. And then again, bridging the gap between kind of, I think we grew up in a different generation of like seen and not heard,
Right.
like
Yes.
sit at the table, don't talk, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But in those behind the scene moments, we got, I think, more of them than it feels like, and I could be totally wrong because it's different timelines and different vibes, but just it feels like they were more present in those disastrous situations and behind the scenes because they didn't have a ticker of 9,000 bazillion other things going in their head.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's a true story. And I remember those days too, and I remember how different everything was. So I wish we had a little more of that these present days. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. Now I want to pivot since you are a mom and ask what your most memorable moment has been to date as a mom.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of a different journey with motherhood. It's not as common. I'm divorced from my child's dad, and I live away from my family, so I don't have a ton of help. But I will say the moments in which I'm able to put my phone away and really just spend time with him and watch how his mind works. So whether it be cooking together, building, sometimes we make up rap songs in the car.
You want to
And
do one for us real quick?
we do have this one that's like, get down at Food Town.
Oh,
We live
yeah.
by this place, this grocery store. It's not doesn't look like the safest grocery store.
Oh,
So we have a long story about Food Town, a Food Town rap, which sounds so cringy with me saying out loud, but
no.
I like doing those moments, but you're right. I'm about to go into the teen years. And even today, I text another mom friend that said, "Hey, did you ever fight one of your boys? Not like child abuse, but like just, should we just like get a wrestling match going and get it out of our system?"
I think sometimes they need that. They need to wrestle. I feel
I
like
think I do
boys
too.
need boys really need to wrestle, like and get that like whatever that is angst out.
Because it's like no music. And also, you didn't wake me up on time, but leave me alone. But you're so annoying. And it's just, there are times where and I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm doing this for the first time too, but
Yeah.
when I then just start acting like him and I'm like, yeah, let's just get in the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, you start to mirror their behavior a little bit because you're just like, I don't know, I can't win, so I'll just act like you because that's
Right.
obviously how you communicate. So let's
And
just like back and forth. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometimes in the car, he'll really try to not break character. Like teens are
Yes.
really committed to like
Yes.
their thoughts and their ideas. And so sometimes I'll see like a little smirk come out of him that he wants to laugh, but he doesn't want to show it. And so like those in between moments are really great
Yeah.
that it is such a joy to have. People used to say like having a child is like having a mirror held up to you.
Hmm.
And so I get to see the best of me and the worst of me.
Yeah. And he's got your personality, it sounds like.
He's a really good combo. He looks a
Yeah.
lot like me, but he is very type A,
Mm,
brilliant. And that's his dad is very type A,
okay.
brilliant, focused. But he does have a witty sense of humor.
Yeah. Like you. Yeah.
And so sometimes that'll poke through and it's really funny.
Well, so I know you're about to enter the teen years. So, would you say the greatest challenge you've had as a mom is being a single mom, or do you have something else that's been a greater challenge to you?
I only know my story, so I wish I could compare it, but I think yes and no to your question. I
Mm,
think influencer culture was really hard on me. I
mm,
don't think I separated it well.
yeah.
I think I spent a lot of times isolated and scrolling and watching people
Hmm.
be, look at me, I'm back in my size 2 jeans, and here's all organic in this glassware, and I breastfed for 19 years,
Hmm.
and I am still cooking the placenta and putting it in my garden, and
Yeah.
all of that was really hard for me to navigate because I don't think I was stable in my truth and my intuition when I embarked on this journey. And that's been my biggest struggle looking back is there's 9,000 bazillion different books on motherhood
Hmm.
and um some say cry it out, some say sleep train, some say stand on one leg, some say eat all organic, some say eat chicken nuggets and it's very hard. And I think early on I went from one book to one book to one book and tried all of the things when I think I had it in my heart. My sister also has 4 kids, and she had her oldest 5 months after me, and completely opposite journey. I mean, never read a book in the hospital for 3 hours out of the hospital. Her son slept through everything, was like an angel baby, and it was kind of chaotic for me. But I wonder too how much of that was my mind not being able
Hmm.
to settle with that comparison
Oh
element.
yeah. I mean, there's no survival if we live in a constant comparison state. Like that's not sustainable for anybody. I don't care if you're the most perfect and even your sister, like even the most perfect baby and experience, like there's nobody that can live in that culture constantly.
Right. Yeah. And so that's been my biggest, I think that's been like the biggest theme in all of my life, but
Yeah.
especially in motherhood,
Yeah.
because it feels like as women, we brag about our strengths and sometimes being vulnerable about our weaknesses looks like weakness when it's just like, hey, this is my story. And everyone's like, ew.
Yeah. Because they
So
didn't experience it. Yeah. Like it's
yeah,
different. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with being vulnerable because I think it helps other moms out there that are struggling. My daughter, has two little babies under two, and she'll just sometimes ask me like, "How did you do it?" Like she doesn't remember the struggle,
Right.
and I do, but it wasn't something that she even noticed, growing up. And she's like, I just don't know how you did it. And I'm like, I just did it. Like I was fortunate enough that I didn't have the influencer culture when my oldest were little. So I felt the same way you did, but and my mind wouldn't settle, but I wasn't comparing myself to influencers. So
Right.
I was a little bit better off because I don't know that I would have made it had I done that.
And that's when I think my faith came into play and said,
Mhm.
"Hey, let's get you back in alignment here." And I had to learn to be kind of my North Star. And there's a story in like Hindu or yoga culture that's like, where should we put the happiness? And they're like, let's bury it on top of this mountain. Let's bury it down deep in the ocean. And someone says, let's bury it in the heart because that's the last place they'll look.
Mm,
And because it's right under your nose, anyways. And so I think I kind of got true to myself and I gave myself permission because Champagne and Sally or Moms and Mahjong wasn't judging me. I was judging me compared to them. And so I had to know, like, I had to give myself permission to have expectations for myself and give myself permission to fail.
that's right. Yes, yes, because we're gonna fail no matter what.
Right. And
Sometimes.
going back to kind of your daughter and how she did it, I will say that being a mom also gave me appreciation for my mom and
Yeah,
just a different viewpoint. And so I have liked that part. It had healed a lot of my childhood and kind of made me ask questions of, well, this didn't seem quite right either. So,
yeah,
and just balancing good and bad. That's been
yeah.
my whole struggle because it looks like everything should be good all the time. And you can't get to the good without doing some of the bad, you know?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You don't see the rainbows until after the storm. So
Yeah,
sometimes that you're able to look back and see growth and that you're not as bad as you may have thought you were comparing yourself to everybody in the doom scroll, the endless doom scroll that sometimes happens. Sometimes we do that just because it's our like only quiet time and we're just like, okay. But and sometimes I'm guilty of that too. Like I'll just be like, okay, this is the only time I have to myself. I'm just gonna scroll for a minute and then it turns into like way longer than I should have
yeah. Now
set
you're
aside.
filling out forms for a full mommy makeover and you're getting an entire leopard curtain set with matching pillows
Yes.
and blankets and you've booked a cruise on some cruise. Yes,
Yes.
I get hyper fixated on the weirdest stuff and I have to remind myself like, hey, remember this was going to be a 1 minute break and now you're trying
Yes.
to be a salsa dancer?
Yes, exactly. And then the next day I'm like, when did I even sign up for this stuff? Like what did I do? Like where was I and what was I thinking? It's like we have all this optimism, I guess late at
Yes.
night when we have nobody asking us for anything. Like, oh yeah, now I have all this time. I can do all this stuff. No, could be sleeping. But so we talked about like some of the challenges that you've been through. So what resources you talked about, digging into your faith
Mhm.
and leaning in. What other resources or those resources or who helped you? How did you get through that time?
I had to do a little closet clean out in my world. And that meant I had to know when social media was being helpful and hurtful.
Hmm.
I had to let go of some relationships for the time being and not say, like, hey, you're not serving me, you're out, but just know, like, I'm in this season of life and I need accountability and support. And that's really hard to give someone when they're struggling, you know?
Yes.
And so, but I also needed to know, like, what I'm going to allow and not allow for my health and growth. So I had to kind of be more aware. And that took a lot of quiet time and, listening to books, listening to podcasts
Mm.
about parenting and not parenting. Because sometimes you can get so far in it that you get hyper fixated that you're
Yes.
making no growth. so I kind of had to do, have you ever seen that movie Runaway Bride where she like tries
Yes.
to figure out what kind of eggs she likes?
Yes. Yes.
I had to kind of go through that journey. And I wish I could give you a manual or a tool that made sense, but I think it just really had to go with, I had to dial into what, to myself. I had to kind
Mhm.
of love myself and get to know myself and mother myself so that I could do that and go into the world and make those connections and be better for my son.
Yeah, I mean that's so wise. Like that movie, like when she was the eggs were whatever the man she was
Right.
with's favorite eggs. That spoke volumes to me because a lot of times we lose ourselves in other people, especially people we love, whether that's the partner we're with or our children. Like we lose ourselves, and like you said, you have to love yourself and find yourself again to know, that everything's, it's just so much more positive outlook when you know yourself and you love yourself and you give
Right.
yourself the grace that you need to pause and be quiet. And like you said, the silent time, that's so healing for so many people. And we just don't get it as moms as much as we should or could.
Yeah. And I think too, like if you think of a puzzle piece, I think we're all kind of designed to kind of make a big puzzle piece. And I think sometimes we get frustrated in the creator trying to put us in the flowers or the sky or the
Hmm.
dog's fur. And part of that searching of where you get to try all those areas before you lock into what matters. And I
Right.
also think too is if you're a wild and weird and you have one of those jagged edges puzzle pieces, that's okay. It's better to be your puzzle piece that you're design rather than putty, because
Right.
putty is going to get everywhere, all over the
Yep.
puzzle.
Yeah.
I think I was just trying to fit in all the different areas, so I was trying to like shave off my jagged edges when I
Yeah.
really just needed to kind of stay true to that. So,
Yeah. Stay true to yourself. So
yeah.
on that note, who inspires you as a mom or just as a woman surviving today? Who inspires you and why?
Yeah, I I think I'm still searching for that answer.
Okay.
And I think I'm pulling from all different places, and I don't have this one person.
Yeah.
And I think that's healthy and not healthy. Because did you ever have like fill these out in like elementary school and whatnot?
Yes. Yes.
And it's like you want to put your mom, but then it's
Yes.
a little tricky. And then so I think it comes from all over the place. But I think the people that are willing to say, I don't know, like, have you thought of something else? I think
Yeah.
those questions inspire me. It's not just a person. And I also
Right.
think my child's laughter and happiness, I think
Hmm.
that can be a good indication if I'm in the wrong or right. Not that there is a wrong or right, but just that I'm not physically fighting him in his teenage years,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
which
that's an
did cross
honest.
my mind, but might not be healthy.
Well, I think a little wrestling's okay. Like I said, I think they need a little wrestle. But as long
He's
as you're
about as
willing.
tall as me, so I think
Okay.
it'd be a
Yeah.
fair fight.
It'd be fair. It'd be an even match. That's so funny. I think that's an honest answer though. Yeah. If you're just there's not a person right now or anything, you're just still starting and looking for that. I think that's very honest. So
And I
thanks
also
for
want to say, like, I'm really, for the first time in almost 45 years, I can say that without feeling lack and feeling
right.
okay.
Yeah.
And I think that makes me happy is just the progress that I made and not feeling like I don't have a person.
Yeah.
I have lots of people and I'm just not ready to answer that yet confidently.
Right.
And it's okay to say I don't know.
It's so okay. It's so great to be honest about it. So on your journey as a mom, have there been any surprises or, sneak attacks that you weren't expecting? As much as you can expect going into motherhood. Is there anything that you can think of that you were like, wow, I didn't see that coming?
Yes. And this is again goes back to my whole comparison theme, but I thought I was going to have this little outgoing stagehand
Mm.
and we were going to go to Little Gym and he was going to try and all he wanted to do is sit in my lap. He didn't
Oh,
want to talk to anybody. He didn't want to go out. And he didn't like dressing up. He was the exact same thing for Halloween every year. And if you know
wow.
me, I like, I'll
Yes.
dress up tomorrow.
Yes.
And so enjoy like making peace with what my vision is for him and who his full expression is.
Oh, that's a great way to put that. Yes. How our vision and their expression doesn't always meet.
Yeah,
So
and I think when I'm trying to make him put it, be who I want him to be, it's how unfair. Like he was designed to be this person, and I should, help facilitate where he wants to go and his goals, even if it wasn't my plan for him.
yeah, that's so, I mean, I'm so glad that like you as a mom see that and he's only 12. And, a lot of times we don't see those things until they're older. We have visions and hopes and dreams, and we get disappointed when they don't follow those. And then they're adults, and you figure out, you know what? I'm just happy they're healthy, contributing to society adults.
Right.
There comes a point where you got to be thankful that they are living to their true self, like you said.
Yeah.
That's enough. Well, what advice can you share for moms that you wish somebody would have told you that you have?
Yeah, I think again, going back to a very elementary school book, but are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my I think I went around asking everyone else, and
Mm,
which is great because that's research and it's information, right? But almost like I was getting sold on every single other person's idea instead of using it to collect to make my own experience and my own situation because we're all so unique. So there's not a blueprint for motherhood for every single mother and child or mother and
right.
children relationship. It's all so different. And just knowing that and being patient and celebrating, maximize doing the best with what you have. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes, yes.
we might have come from a broken place. We might be broken ourselves in parenting. We might feel like we're screwing up. But I think just doing the best with what you have is my best advice.
Yeah,
It's
that's great
almost like,
advice. I wish I had that advice when I was a first time mom. Like, that's great advice.
no advice is the best advice. Throw away your
Yes,
books
that's right.
and
Like,
just
just
wing it.
intuition. Mother's intuition is a very powerful thing. I
Yeah.
really try to lean more into that, even when the
Watching your
world is saying,
daughter parent, do you get to see her use that?
I do. She's a great mom. Like, at her age, and when I was her age, she's so much better than I was, like, so much calmer than I was. I was, always like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I was constantly, no, 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 where she's very much trying the, calm, like, okay, why are you doing that? I'm not, it's just a different parenting style, but I feel like she's doing a great job. So it's awesome to see. I love it. I'm thankful I get to witness that. Okay, I have one bonus question, then we're going to talk about your podcast. So,
Okay.
if you could choose to be remembered by something or how you were remembered, what would that be?
In general in my life or from my child?
Anything, anything.
Yeah, I want I I hope to be remembered as somebody that um was able to laugh in the chaos. Kind of
Mm,
like my childhood memory.
yeah,
That if the world's going down, if the meteor crashes in and you're around me or see anything from me, you get a little laugh during that chaos.
that's great. That's a full circle. Like you want to be remembered how you remember your childhood. I think that's awesome. And I think you would be, Claire, because you're so funny and such a light to everybody around you. So I want to ask about your podcast. So it's called Claire Bear, Bare.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me about it.
Well, it's a right now it's a work in progress. It was supposed to be done this January, but flu apocalypse and the freeze and all of
Yes.
that. So just giving myself a little grace again, just
Yes.
going on my own path.
Healthy. Yes.
Um, but it's going to be kind of a recount of kind of these diabolical stories that I mentioned, and then kind of go off into streams of, what happened at that point in my life, whether it's like first account memories from cousins, sisters, family members, or if I bring in
Yeah.
experts saying like, hey, this is what happened. And
Yeah.
so just various ways. I've been on a wild ride and some
Yeah.
by my own account and some just by bad luck. And so I think it'll help people relate. And I used to probably go out and maybe have one too many cocktails and watch Intervention the next day, which could be right or wrong. But I always like to be like, well, at least I'm not thinking there's an alien invasion and sniffing bath salts.
There you
So
go, comparing.
again, it is a comparing thing, but if anything else, I think it'll help me heal and people can laugh with me as we heal together. And I think it'll offer, support and advice for anybody that's been through those situations. And I don't want to get stuck in the muck. More so, I just want to laugh through it as we grow to a different place.
Awesome. I cannot wait. So please, please keep me posted on when it's coming out. I would love to be one of the first people to download your podcast.
Okay, thank you. You've
Yes.
been such a cheerleader and such like a northern star in the process, so I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom and your life and your story and your laughter. And I hope we have some impromptu rap tunes to look forward to on the podcast as well.
Boot town,
Food
boot
Town.
town.
Thank you, Claire. I love
Yes,
you.
thank you. Love you too.
And thank you so much. Go hug your sweet boy for me.
Okay, thank
Thank you for listening to Work Harder Mama with Michelle. If you would like to read along to some tips and devotions shared on the podcast, I wrote a book, Work Harder Meditations for Moms, Season by Season. It is available online where books are sold. It is also available on workharder.com. That's WORKHEARTER. Check us out on Instagram at Work Harder and Work Harder Mama. And we're also on Facebook at Work.